Everyone, I came from Mukherjee Nagar Center there, Vision IAS. I was having the mains 365 class there, and from there I have just come for the class here. So I took the lunch this time, lunch time, so to recharge my battery, the fuel has to be right, and then we'll start with the class now. See, what we are going to do is that let me first write the topics there. Just 1 second. See, we will be covering new technologies there. And in new technologies, the first part we will be learning about nanotechnology, nanoscience and technology. That will be the first part of the class. After nanoscience and technology, we will be getting into area of robotics. Then I am going to discuss about advanced computing. We'll learn about quantum computing, quantum computers, then we'll go into DNA computing. So there are a number of things, nano computing. So from ICT and computing part, this is the important one. So there are other aspects also there. We'll be covering in the classroom. This will be first area of discussion in the classroom. After that, we'll be also going to this one. I have earlier also mentioned DIT, right? Department of Electronics and Information Technology, and what new programs have been brought about, right? Now, nanoscience and technology, already question has come in the mains exam. Last mains, there was a question on nano mission program. I have already said about this in the classroom. At the same time, the prelims exam, 2 times questions have been asked. UPSC has asked question about harmful effect of nanoparticles. When nanoparticles, nanotechnology based products are used, what will be the negative impacts on the environment because of such particles, nanoparticles? That is one question asked in objective form there. Second question came in terms of 2 statement type question where use of nanotechnology was there, where one aspect was gene therapy also. Last time I was covering in the classroom gene therapy. We can use nanocapsule, nanomaterial. We can encapsulate human DNA, human gene, and this kind of nanocapsulated material can become like a vector, which can deliver the gene or DNA into the targeted cell. So that is a nanotechnology development part of it. So that was the UPSC question there. Once I discuss the area, I'll be coming to that part. So let us first put into something on flowchart, and then I'll give you a write-up also there. See, vector is a molecule or something which can carry the things or transfer DNA or any kind of thing there. Pathogen are microorganism which cause disease. No, it's not. See, sometimes what is using the word here, vector. Vector is just like a carrier which carries there. It can be microorganism, may not be there. Like for example, mosquito. When you talk mosquito, so when you take about female Anopheles mosquito, is the vector carrier of the disease malaria, plasmodium. Plasmodium lives within the mosquito, which is transferred. That becomes a part of it. Vector can be also virus. Virus is a microorganism. Let's say a virus which contains that, I have explained last time the gene and DNA, gene therapy, that can be part of that. Vector could be a circular chromosome which has said about plasmid. Sometimes there could be viral DNA also there. Right, this all, so vector actually, the term is used that which we can use for transfer of any kind of biomolecule. Let's say DNA or RNA, the transfer material, that is called vector. It can be microorganism, may not be there. But when you say pathogen, so pathogen refers to disease causing microorganisms. This refers to disease causing microbes. Yes, that is right. The disease causing. Whenever we use the word pathogen, we always refer in terms of disease. Let's say when it's a bacteria, like Vibrio cholerae, it causes cholera. Right, there's a disease there. Then you are aware tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which causes tuberculosis in humans. right? Or let's say poliomyelitis, which cause polio. So these are the pathogens. We use the word pathogen there. So vector generally it is used from molecular biology perspective where we have to carry out the genetic modification or manipulation. But when you use the word vector from disease perspective, they are the carrier. Like I have said, it can be insect. And not only the mosquito, even let's say testis fly, which causes sleeping sickness. I said testis fly. The fly is there, which can cause a disease called sleeping sickness, right? So it is not necessary that always mosquito could be there, which carry that particular, or we can say they act like a host. They are the host of that. That's what the vector word comes in, right? So now, if you look at nanotechnology, nanoscience and technology perspective.
So what is the difference between hormonal disorders and metabolic disorders?
Okay, it's very simple one there. See, hormonic disorder means which causes because of lack of hormone or excess of hormones, right? See, what happens in human body, we have endocrine system. See, human physiology or anatomy when we look at, like nervous system, digestive system, cardiovascular system, reproductive system. So we have an endocrine system, right? Endocrine system consists of those glands which secrete hormones, and they secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream. Bloodstream directly it is secreted, right? They are also called sometimes ductless gland. They have direct opening into the bloodstream. And what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers. They control the body physiology, right? Directly they have control over that. So when you say endocrine system there, so it works with the hormones. Now, when any individual has more secretion of hormone or less secretion of hormones, it causes a disorder. Like for example, when you talk about gigantism, right? Gigantism where the person grows to a very tall height, like Khali, right? That is because of growth hormone. Right, growth hormone there. Why? More secretion of growth hormone. Pituitary gland. There's a gland called pituitary gland, which is a very, very small gland near in the brain. So there growth hormone comes. If the lack secretion of growth hormone is less, that calls dwarfism. That is part of it, right? This is an example I am saying that. Absence or lack of insulin causes diabetes. That part comes there, right? But when you say, the another word is what? Metabolic disorder. So hormonal disorder can be any kind of such kind of hormones there. See, metabolism. So first let me explain here the word. Metabolism refers to sum total of all chemical reactions in the body. That includes catabolism and anabolism. Breakdown process and building up process. That's called metabolism. So when you say metabolic disorder, that means that is linked with the biochemical reactions in the body. Let's say here, when it's metabolic disorders, I have said in the classroom that refers to, let's say, obesity. More deposition of fats, right, where the fats are not been metabolized. They are not been converted to some other forms. That leads into that part, right? So, and that can have other impact there. Generally, metabolism is linked with the part of the, where the such kind of molecules, like protein or fats, right, their digestion part, they're called there. Like sometimes there's something called hyperbulimia. A person bloats, become more. Because that person's body physiology is not able to take care of the fats. So there's more and more deposition of fats. That's called metabolism. That is in terms of the functioning of the body there. So that's the metabolic disorder comes.
Sleeping disorder will also lie under metabolic disorder.
Sleeping disorder, no. Sleeping disorder you're saying, like is for instance insomnia. Right, the person insomnia, where you don't get the sleep and all this. So that also can be part of metabolic, right? But something which is not been there, part of the can affect the brain and the function there. So metabolism can be a lot of things there, right? And metabolic disorder can also lead to cardiovascular disease. It's a technical problem or internet problem, right? So net ka problem ho raha hai. Okay, now let's understand here. I'll put across the first thing is that. Let's put into this. The first thing is that about nanoscience and technology. So I'm putting first in a flowchart and then I'll go to the written part. The first thing is what comes here, nanoscience. Okay, what do you mean by nanoscience? So you all are aware that is a science of atoms and molecules. What is nanoscience? It's a science of atoms and molecules and their complexes. So when you talk about atom, individual atom is very small, right? It comes into the scale of nano size there. So when we deal with the scientific study of behavior or characteristics of atoms, molecules and their combination, that comes into nanoscience, right? Now, that's why first I'm putting in a flowchart all the definition part. Now comes about here nanotechnology. Nanotech comes there, technology word. So what is technology? Fabrication. Fabrication, use of nanoparticles and nanomaterials for any kind of a useful function. I'll give you everything. That's what I'm saying. You'll be getting everything. First you understand that. That's what I'm putting flowchart. Flowchart, you should copy that. So what I've said, nanoscience is the science of atoms and molecules and their characteristics, right? Where nanotechnology is a technology which deals with fabrication, design, and use of nanoparticles and nanomaterials for any purpose, any application. Application can be different areas. It can be agriculture, it can be medical science, it can be electronics, computing. We can use various periods. So second thing comes, okay, what is the nanotechnology? Now, third what I'm writing here, what I said here is the what benefits we get or what applications we derived from nanomaterials. That is the third aspect which we have to learn in the classroom. So as I said that nanotechnology is an enabling technology. What comes very important word? It enables. Is an enabling technology because the use of nanotechnology based products can be in various other areas of science and technology. Right? Let's say when we use nanomaterials in biotechnology, that branch is called nanobiotechnology. So biotechnology and nanotechnology coming together, right? Same way, electronics, when you use the nanomaterials in terms of design of electronics, so nanoelectronics comes there. So that's what I said is enabling technology. It enables other technologies where the nanotechnology comes, right? Now what is very important is that though today we are talking about various applications of nanotechnology in day-to-day life at the same time, in the industrial use, agriculture use, space science and technology, defense, various applications comes. But again, there have been questions raised about the use of nanotechnology based product. So there are certain fears. So it has also got some negative impact. There is a negative aspect also there. So we have to also know about the negative aspect of the technology. Since in coming years, there will be more and more application, there will be more and more use of nanotechnology, and that can lead to certain harmful effect also. So what harmful effect can be there? It can be health impact, it can be environmental impact, it could be security threat, right? All this will come into that. Now what comes here, apart from that, if we have benefits, we have got more benefits from nanotechnology derived products, then how those benefits can be regulated? So now what the people are talking about, the countries, the governments, they're thinking of regulating the nanoscience and technology. So one area what comes here, research and development, R&D, where we develop novel products, novel nanomaterials. Now when you talk about R&D, research and development, so in research and development, there can be two approaches, which I'm writing here. Nanotechnology has two approaches. One is called bottom-up approach. It includes a bottom-up approach, right? And second is called top-down approach. See, what I said here is that when you talk about nanoparticles or we are talking about atoms and molecules. Atoms and molecules cannot be seen with naked eyes. They are very, very small, right? When you talk about, let's say, 1 nanometer, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meters, and that goes to a size which is 1,000 times smaller than the width of the hair. It's very, very small. It's a very small one, right? So when we talk about R&D, so one approach is that we can build nanomaterial by assembling together, joining together small atoms and molecules. So we can make bottom-up approach, right? That is called bottom-up. We take into atom, let's say lead or silicon, germanium, any element there. And then slowly we combine them together to form a bigger size, which has got certain application. That is called bottom-up, right? One good example I can give there, let's say integrated circuit, IC, layout. So what happens in IC? You will find that transistor, resistor, all electronic parts are assembled together to form an integrated circuit. So that So today it is possible that nanoelectronics is derived with those kind of small parts, small components, building together a bigger one. What is a top-down approach? Top-down approach is like this. Just understand with example, catalyst. Let's say today in industry we use palladium, platinum. What is the use of catalyst? Catalyst speed up the reaction. It increases the rate of the reaction. Now what happens there? A normal catalyst what we use today at present is the same catalyst made up of smaller size atoms of palladium or platinum. So what has happened there? Top down. So what advantage we get from top down? Surface area increases. Like for example, you have bulk size material, bulk. But if you make from the bulk size, smaller size there. So there is one advantage, the increase in surface area, which will increase the rate of the reaction. Right, so what is called nano catalyst. So that is what top to down. We are going from top to bottom there. Right. So today, engineers, scientists and technocrats in the lab, they can use both the approaches. Either from atoms and molecules can build the bigger size, or from the bigger size can be broken down into smaller one. So both approaches comes in, right? So nanotechnology is said to be a change in agent. It will bring a big change in the 21st century. As I said, that is 11.
सर कैसे एग्जांपल आपने टॉप डाउन कैसे
मैंने बताया दो अप्रोच है, टॉप डाउन है, बॉटम अप है. ठीक है, टॉप डाउन क्या होता है कि जब कोई बड़े साइज का बल्क मटेरियल है उसको हम ब्रेक डाउन कर रहे छोटे छोटे चीज़ों पे, छोटे टुकड़ों में बांट दें. हाँ, तो R&D की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. तो उसके लिए R&D क्या होगा? रिसर्च होगा ना. R&D का मतलब क्या होता है? रिसर्च करना. रिसर्च में क्या करेंगे? यही अप्रोच डेवलप करेंगे, कैसे हम उसको छोटे लेवल पे ले जाएं. यही R&D है, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट. और बॉटम अप क्या है? बॉटम अप क्या है कि कैटलिस्ट का पता है, जैसे बल्क साइज है प्लैटिनम. तो टुडे प्लैटिनम बेस्ड इफ यू मेक अ नैनो साइज स्मॉल प्लैटिनम्स विच आर कमिंग टुगेदर एंड फॉर्मिंग अ कैटलिस्ट. ये हो गया बॉटम की तरफ जाना, हाइयर टू लोअर स्केल. एंड व्हाट इज द बॉटम अप? वी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम लोअर स्केल एंड धीरे धीरे क्या है उसको बड़े स्तर पर ले जाना, बिगर साइज. तो वो कैसे होगा? हम एटम्स या मॉलिक्यूल्स को ज्वाइन करके बड़े साइज का कुछ बनाएं और उसका कुछ फंक्शन हो. दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ इट. तो R&D, research and development, what comes? What is research and development? When you think of such ideas, when you think of such kind of interventions, that's what called R&D, right? So what I said that today both approaches are available with the scientists and engineers, and they can develop such kind of material, right? So in terms of what I said, 21st century, there will be lot of development of new materials. So what is very important is that this area of science and technology is linked with material science development. This is what the material science comes. So whatever material we talk about, right, general material, based on that, it comes into that. But normally speaking, you remember that nanotechnology goes to a size here. If you look at the size here, it goes to 1 to 100 nanometer. When you deal with the size of 1 to 100 nanometer. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to power minus 9 meters. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to power minus 9 meters. Right, this is the size there. So when we are dealing with that kind of a scale, that's why the nanotechnology comes into existence, right? Today we are talking about nanotechnology. As it will keep on happening next 50 years or 80 years, there may be even more advancement in science and technology, more and more research. We can go even much smaller. Maybe next scale will be pico scale. We'll go 10 to minus 12 meters. So that's what a very famous scientist, Richard Feynman, very long way back, he has said that there is a lot of space in the bottom. There is a lot of room or space in the bottom. Though we never realize that something which is not seen with naked eyes, which is very, very microscopic, and there can be a lot of things which can be manipulated. So advancement research will always go to a smaller scale, which will always go into that. आज के टाइम में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की जो बात होता है, माइक्रो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हम कहते हैं, ठीक है. माइक्रो 10 to minus 6 मीटर्स है. उसके बाद क्या आ गया? नैनो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आ गया. ये एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है. तो दोनों स्केल पे काम होता है, बड़े स्केल पे भी काम होता है, छोटे स्केल पे भी काम होता है. सो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि वी आर यूजिंग सच मटेरियल विच आर बेनिफिशियल टू अस, विच आर बीइंग टू, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू लुक एट एप्लीकेशन पार्ट, एज यू नो दैट बेनिफिट्स. सो वन एस्पेक्ट कम मेडिसिन, नैनो गोल्ड पार्टिकल, right? Nano gold at the nano scale there, which is used for treating cancer. Cancer treatment has comes into that. So that is one of the application which comes to healthcare. We were discussing about DNA and RNA and proteins biotechnology. So what is biotechnology? Again, the area of nanotechnology. Why? Because we're talking DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. What is the size of DNA? Comes into nanoscience, nano world. So nano is a generic word. That's to say, when we deal with that smaller size, it can be biological material also there. So there can the nanotechnology comes into existence there, right? So now you can write there. I'll put across something there. Then I'll add aspect of that. So that's why first I've given what we need to understand from the examination point of view, and then based on that we will be build up the things there. So nanotechnology, you can write first the nanoscience. Nanoscience is the scientific study of characteristics and behavior of atoms and molecules of size 1 to 100 nanometer. Atoms or molecules of size 1 to 100 nanometers. 1 to 100 nanometers. Right, give a full stop, same paragraph, right. Nanotechnology is the engineering. Nanotechnology is the engineering of functional systems. Engineering of functional systems at the molecular scale. Give a full stop there. It refers to design. I'll repeat that. Functional systems at the molecular scale. You have stop there. Now, same paragraph, right? It refers to design. And development of nanoparticles and nanomaterials for various applications. Right? Now give comma, such as various applications, such as now I'm coming to that. So now what you can do, this what I've given there, 3 sentences, I'm now putting across through the part of here in terms of the flow chart there. So what I said, various applications such as. Now what are those applications? I'm now coming to that. Then again I'll build on those parts there. I'll come to the bottom up and all this approach also there. So the various applications, let's say here, I'll explain with the certain examples there. I mentioned few words right now, but I'll put in the flow chart here. Let's say for example, you can draw this flow chart in your note copy there. Applications. So first time writing here, biotechnology. Since we have studied biotechnology in the last class, so I'm starting from there. Right, nanobiotechnology. So example. Now what is example here? I'm giving very important here. DNA probe. Right. Let's say when we design DNA probe. Right. What is the use of DNA probe? To identify any genetic disorder. So we are talking about DNA. DNA is again very small. It comes to detect genetic disorder. So what is very important here? Molecular diagnosis and biomarker is sometimes also called, I'm writing the bracket, biomarker. And what is the use of such biomarker? Diagnosis of a disease. Trying to understand the disease. Let's say any kind of disease is there because of genetic defect. So we can think of such kind of a screening kind of thing there. We can develop such kind of areas there. Right? When, let's say, last class, I have also discussed ELISA, enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. So what is enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay? Antigen antibody. So when you talk antibodies, again it's small. This is all about molecular probe, which can be found, can be used there. Right? Now if you look at here, second, what I just now I mentioned that, let's say medical science there. Now medical science, I'll give you 2 examples there, which has been all making news. The first one, example which comes here, is the nano gold particle. nano gold particles for treatment of cancer. That is what has been developed there, because such kind of particles can be tagged with, let's say, anti-cancer drug. And I'm giving another very good example, which is again scientists have developed, nanoprosthetics. But let me first explain what is the meaning of word prosthetics. Prosthetic is a body implant. Sometimes, when rupture happens inside the body, the rupture happens, knee injury or slip disc. So what we do? We transplant there. Sometimes, knee transplant happens, right? Artificial knees have been put up there. So such kind of a prosthetic material, which are implanted inside the body. So now here, nanoprosthetics have come. Now what is the advantage of such nanoprosthetics? Such nanoprosthetic material will be tough, mechanically tough, at the same time elastic. Right? Let's say, for example, as I said, knee which bends. So normally material could be hard and can have certain type of thing there. But such kind of prosthetics materials can mimic the body part which we are adding there. So scientists today worldwide are working to develop such body implants which can be used. Right? So 2 examples comes there. You'll always come across, when you read newspaper, current affairs, you'll always come across certain type of application part. Now, after that, what I'm coming here, I've said here in the field of electronics and computing. So nanotechnology has also come into this field, and here the example as a given here, nanoelectronics. There is one very important term which I'll write where question has been asked in the exam regarding electronics development, and it's also making news for the last 7-8 years. There's something called graphene, right? You'll also come across a word called carbon nanotubes, CNT, and such word comes there, which you find. So let's say, for example, graphene, or let me write here, carbon nanotubes. See, carbon atom, or any such atoms there, when you're talking about, is very, very small. And we make a tubular kind of structure, right, which is made of such atoms, carbon atoms. And one potential use can be graphene. Now, what is graphene? The question comes here, what do you mean by this material graphene? Where UPSC has also asked question there. 2012 PT exam, you'll find a question on graphene. Graphene is nothing but obtained from graphite. So it is called two-dimensional form of graphite. Two-dimensional form of graphite. Graphite is three-dimensional. You have a layer of carbon atoms, and you have several layers which are bonded together. Right there. So let's say if you can remove a layer of atoms, carbon atoms, one single layer, that will form graphene. So it is what? Very, very thin material, thinnest, ultra thin material is there. So it is very difficult to get that material, but today it is possible to make that, extract. Scientists have developed methods, ways, by extracting such graphene. And let's say, for example, if you have this carbon-carbon atom, I'm just roughly drawing there, this kind of carbon atoms bonded together, you have the material there, right? So what can be there here? We can fold it. Just a paper. As a paper, we fold it, and can become like tube, cylindrical structure. So when you fold it there, so what will happen there? It will form like this kind of structure. What is called carbon nanotubes. The graphite is what? Graphite is carbon atoms. So that is again. Now why scientists are working there? Because such kind of graphene has got conduction of electrons. It can have horizontal conduction, vertical conduction. So how the vertical conduction? Carbon nanotubes. Horizontal, planar conduction can be there. I'm just making you understand that kind of application can come in the electronics form also there. Where does come there? I'll give you another thing there, which is again making very important news in electronics and display panel and everything. What is called quantum dots. There's something called quantum dots. I'm sure if you are following the current affairs, you'll come across the word quantum dots. Quantum dots has got electronics application also. So what are quantum dots? I've just explained here what is graphene. But let's say I'm using the word quantum dots. The word is dots. All these are making news because we are now using such material. Like for example, you know that now Samsung has come with quantum dots based panel. TV has come. Right? We are using right now organic LED, light emitting diode. LED based thing there. So quantum dots are nothing but artificially created semiconducting atoms. What are quantum dots? So I'm right here. Is the artificially created. That means in the lab we create that. Created semiconductor based, silicon, germanium, semiconducting atoms there. So that's what I'm saying. What is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology deals with making such nanoparticles, making such nanomaterials. So quantum dots refers to such kind of synthetic atoms which are semiconductors. Now what is the importance of such quantum dots? It has got color, light. It emits light, red, green, blue, orange, has got pure color. That's what I've said, use the word TV panel has come with quantum LED because they have the what? Visible range, light is there. So, but just to make you aware that today, presently worldwide, there's a lot of development in the field of display and electronics and computing which is coming from nanotechnology. Now another thing here, I've used the word computing, we'll discuss also in the classroom. So second example what I'm giving, quantum computing is the, you can say, next generation computers. What I'm giving example, the next generation computers will be much faster than the personal computer or what we are using in the laptop and all that. But there how it will work? They will work with the part of the light, photon, right? Or it will use such kind of atoms and molecules for storing information, processing of information. What a computer does? What computer does? A computer is just simply converts and store the information, process the information and give the output. What do you see the output there? Imagine that if it's done by atoms and those kind of quantum aspect comes there. And again, you'll be surprised to know, already a quantum computer has been developed. There's something called, I'm giving the example, D-Web is a quantum computer which has been now sold in the market. One can buy a quantum computer called D-Web. There's a name there, D-Web. I'll take you to the website also there. What are things are there? Website also see that. D-Web is a quantum computer made in the US. And such quantum computers are, the company which has made, offers for sale also there. Right, it has come in the last day in the news also there. UK-based company has bought the quantum computer. Google as an innovative company is working to develop the quantum computers. So a lot of teams, research teams are working to develop such kind of a computer which are faster than what we have present day computers. So the research is going on. So nanotechnology can drive, what I'm saying, nanotechnology can drive such kind of developments. Such kind of research can be driven, right? Apart from that, not it will be automation only there, but actually it works on the case of what I'll be coming to that one. When I'll take advanced computing, what is called qubit, quantum bits of information, quantum numbers. It comes quantum numbers there. Electrons could also be there, but it forms a different type of system there.
So it is basically computing with the atoms and the molecules of the nanotechnology.
No, nanotechnology, no, I'm saying that nanotechnology why comes? Because we are talking smaller scale. Right? Nano word is very generic word. You understand that? Nano means wherever you are talking about such small scale. I have written there 1 to 100 nanometer. So there can be variety of things will come, which comes to that scale. So when you talk about electrons and all this kind of thing, so again the nano world comes into that. But actually what is very important is that such computers will be more advanced than the present generation computers. And they have a different mechanism. I'll be explaining that mechanism. I'll be coming to that quantum bits and all, how it works into that, what actually mechanisms are there. Here is a part of application I'm saying that, how nanotechnology can bring about such kind of benefits, can derive this part of that, right? I'll be coming to that, quantum bits and all, you'll understand that. Now what I'm coming here next applications, apart from this, right, nanotechnology can also be used in a defense sector, right? And I'll give you certain examples which can be part of it. When you look at defense development, defense technology, the first example what I'm writing here, nanocomposites. I'm using the word here, composite material. Let's say carbon composites. They're carbon fiber carbon composite. Very good example is light combat aircraft Tejas. Tejas is made of that body frame. The frame of the fighter craft is lightweight because of such kind of a composite material. Right, and what is based on that? it is made of such kind of atoms and molecules which are very lighter there, right? But at the same time, will be again heat resistant, will be tough, will be have mechanical strength. So we can use nano carbon composites not only for fighter craft, but we can also build for space shuttle, spacecraft, right, which goes to the outer space. We can develop this one. What advantage you'll get if you make a fighter craft lightweight, or let's say rocket or launch vehicle lightweight, so we can carry more payload, more thing can be carried out, heavier thing can be there, because the weight of the system will be reduced, drastically reduced in that case. So one example, nano. Another example is what? Nano weapons. Now remember that nano weapons are nothing but biological weapons, right? We use the word nano there, but it's a biological weapons. What biological weapon consists of? Bacteria and virus, pathogens there. Like for example, anthrax is a bacteria, or sometimes the food poisoning, salmonella. All this cannot be seen with naked eyes. But let's say we take a culture of bacteria, such anthrax bacteria culture, and we make a bomb, small kind of a explosive, which has this kind of vial, small bottle or vial, which consists of bacteria, and then explode. So it will spread the bacteria in the environment, and that will have impact on air, water, soil, human, animal. So they are called biological weapons. So there is what called nano weapons. So we can think of such kind of development also there. But actually that such things are banned. Right? It's not advisable to develop nano weapons, biological weapons. But nanotechnology gives you that kind of opportunity. If you want to make nano weapons, you can make that. So those kind of developments comes in defense. What I'm coming here further, apart from this, nanotechnology has again another potential application, that is in terms of what are called the consumer products. Today, that's what I say, number of products have already been developed and there are in the market. Is already there in the market, right? Let's say I'll give you example there. Very good example is that if you take example, let's say glass, right? Let's say Ray-Ban glass specs, what do you wear there? Now sometimes have the coating there, which will prevent the radiation, anti-radiation glare. We use those kind of things there. This is also sometimes nano application also comes. Why? Because such kind of a product what we use there may have those kind of a glass material which will not allow harmful radiation to go inside. Let's say window panes. We can make those kind of screen or window panes which are made of such nano glass particles which will prevent harmful radiation from coming from outside to inside the building. So there, let's say for example here glass, or I'll give another example, shirt of textile. Let's say in terms of, I'll give you garments in the case. Very good example is that dust free, stain free, right? T-shirt or shirts and all this, which will not allow the dust or anything to settle there, right? So let's say for example here, this has been developed here. Tata is now selling in the market water purification system which works on nano filters. That will not allow, because filters there it uses nano pore size. So let's say nano filters. Reebok has developed their shoes which are lightweight, right? So we can think of using such materials which can be used by humans, or let's say cosmetic product, right? So cosmetic product is what? Shampoo, भाई कुछ लोगों को क्या होता है बाल झड़ जाते हैं, है ना? कितनी भी कोशिश करो बाल रुकता ही नहीं है, और दिल्ली में आने के बाद तो और हो जाता है, क्योंकि यहाँ का खराब पानी, खराब वातावरण, ये सारा चीज़ है, तो बाल झड़ने लगते हैं. तो उसके लिए क्या होता है, बाज़ार में जाके देखते हैं कहाँ पर है, तो बाबा रामदेव का ही प्रोडक्ट आता है, और भी कई प्रोडक्ट आते हैं, ठीक है, और वहाँ लिखा होता है कहीं पर आ जाए ये चीज़ पार्टिकल्स है, ये सारा चीज़ है, तो उसमें उसका कुछ बेनिफिशियल हो सकता है, तो उसको यूज़ होता है. या फेयर एंड हैंडसम, फेयर एंड लवली, राइट? पहले फेयर एंड लवली आता था, राइट? अब जाकर फेयर एंड हैंडसम भी आ गया है. शाहरुख खान, शाहिद कपूर, जॉन अब्राहम, ऑल दिस आर ब्रांड एम्बेसडर. तो क्या क्लेम करते हैं और ऐड में दिखाते हैं, पहले दिखाते हैं कि थोड़ा काला सा है, रंग थोड़ा कम है, फिर वो दिखाते हैं तुरंत उसी ऐड के अंदर विद इन 30 सेकेंड वो गोरा हो जाता है, राइट? कि इसका रोज़ यूज़ करने में गोरा हो गया वहाँ पर. तो वो जो गोरापन जो आ रहा है, तो क्या करता है, जितने भी पोर्स में डस्ट है, स्टेन है, वो सबको निकाल देता है। और जैसे गार्नियर, जॉन अब्राहम का जो ऐड है, कार्बन बॉडी यूज़ करता है, चारकोल, कार्बन, which can absorb all those kind of, so your skin becomes more glowing, fair. So being fair and handsome or lovely has a lot of advantage, because you know that when you become attractive, then everything can happen there. So that is what comes there. Attract others, like this comes there. So what I'm saying here, cosmetic product. आजकल बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट आ रहे हैं, नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड बहुत सारे आ रहे हैं, राइट? ये सी चीज़ें, डॉक्टर साहब नोज दैट वेरी वेल, यू नो दैट ऑल दिस कॉस्मेटिक्स एंड ऑल दिस, नो दिस। एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, पता है, लिपस्टिक वाज देयर। आजकल ऐसे भी है प्रोडक्ट्स, राइट, जो कुछ भी हो, मतलब नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी कैन मेक दोज काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, सो दैट्स ऑल थिंग्स आर देयर। देन व्हाट कम्स हियर, नेक्स्ट एप्लीकेशन। नाउ व्हाट एप्लीकेशन हियर, apart from this, biotechnology, electronics, defense, consumer products, we should not forget what is happening in future. Automation is happening. The gap between man and machine is becoming less. And there's something called artificial intelligence, AI is coming up. With the AI, there's again one more development which has happened in the past, which is taking forward, robotics. So let's say robotics also there. So nanotechnology is not only what already technology comes there, but nanotechnology also comes into robotics. What is a robot? When you say robot, what is a robot? Right? Robot is Antaran, Chitti, Rajnikant, right? Then, you know Chitti there, Chitti, Rajnikant, who plays the role. Now, Robot 2 is also coming, with Chrome, and Akshay Kumar is also coming there. Right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's all the robots there. So robot is basically, you're right there, is nothing but programmed machine. It can be semi-controlled or automation. It can work on its own. But what is very important? Programmed. Right? Programmed machines are there. Now how the nanotechnology comes? Nano robots. Like nanobots. For example, I'm giving the example here, nanobots. Nano robots can be made there. Small miniaturized robots. Right? Which can be part of it there. Or let's say robotic things which are made of such nanomaterials there. Right? So that is again making news there. Who knows, after 50 years, such things we will be using in our day-to-day life. So that's what I said, what? Nanotechnology is enabling technology. It enables all other type of technologies, whether it was space, defense, biotech, medical science, healthcare, right? You take any area, nanotechnology will go into that. Right? So this is what application, you have to remember that, right? Now let's come to that. I'll come to further things there. Now you write there. Nanotechnology products are developed. Nanotechnology products are developed using two approaches. Dash number one, top-down approach. That is a bulk material can be converted into smaller size materials. Bulk material can be converted into smaller sized material. Right? Same sentence, right? Smaller size material and can be assembled together to create. Assembled together can create novel NOVEL, novel nanomaterial. Can be assembled together to create novel nanomaterials. Novel nanomaterials. Right? Now let's understand. I'll give to second approach. Number one I have given, what is top down. So I am now explaining what is top down. Now just understand here. I'll draw here. It's like this. Let's say, for example, I said a catalyst. For example, catalyst. Novel, not that novel. What do you read? Salman Rushdie and Charles Darwin and all this. New type of, right? Now understand here. Catalyst, right? Let's say this catalyst is made of a bigger size. bulk size here. So what is top-down approach? When you break into smaller size. In the lab, we make small kind of thing there. It's a much smaller there. So what we have done? We created bigger sized atom, bigger sized bulk thing into much smaller one. And then we assemble together. That means the volume remains same. Right? But what we have done, by going to such small size, we have increased the surface area. Right? Surface area increases. Right? Let's the bulk remains the same. But when we are using smaller one, so what has happened? There's a drastic increase in surface area. Drastic increase in surface area. See, a catalyst provides surface for reaction to complete. Right? It provides a surface where the reactants come together. And what is called something called lower activation energy. So it becomes faster. So imagine that if we develop such kind of catalyst, will be 1,000 times more speedier, more faster than what we are using today. Right? So for example here, nano platinum, let's say just example, made of nano platinum, industrial catalyst which is used for the reaction there. Right? Going to a smaller one, bulk to a smaller one. And one example I explained, catalysis, increase in surface area. That is one part. Right? Now comes the second, number 2, bottom-up approach. No, because this is the only 6 were there. But now you have, let's say 50. हाँ तो पहले इतना ही सरफेस आ रहा था इसके साइज में किसी एक में, जो लेकिन अब यहाँ बढ़ गया ऊपर ये चीज़ है. वॉल्यूम सेम है, वॉल्यूम जो है वो सेम है ना वो पर. हाँ हाँ मोस्ट मच मच वाइड सरफेस है. बड़ा साइज में वो पता है ना मोर होता है ऊपर. अब जैसे 2 मोटे आदमी एक साथ एक ही चेयर में बैठ जाए तो फिर क्या होगा? एक चेयर में तो देखिए तो थोड़ा ये होता है ना जगह का जो यहाँ पर ज़्यादा फिलअप हो जाता है. तो ज़्यादा एग्जाम्पल मतलब just to imagine that, you have to imagine how this happens there, right? Imagination. Sometimes imagination comes there. Kalpana, right? So Kalpana, but not any other Kalpana. It's only Kalpana there, right? That is Kalpana. So okay. Now number 2, right? You write it, bottom approach. Number 2, bottom up approach. Bottom approach. Now that is, you write number 2, bottom up approach. That is, you write this. That is building, that is creating, right? Creating more better. That is creating nanomaterials of bigger size, creating nanomaterials of bigger size by joining together small atoms and molecules. Small atoms and molecules. Right, small atoms and molecules. Right, that comes here. Like for, or nanoparticles, right? Or nanoparticles. For example, IC, integrated circuit. For example, integrated circuit design. Integrated circuit design. Right, where we lay all the components together. So that is another approach. Sometimes in the examination, see, always remember that you go to the unknown areas. Now let's say sometimes in state PCS exam has been asked, like IAS exam has asked first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. You should also know what is the first, second, third, fourth generation. Any idea what is first generation nanotechnology, second generation? Now we are in the fourth generation. Fourth generation is going to is taking place there. But already past 3 generations have happened there. So what do you mean by first generation, second generation, and third generation in terms of nanotechnology? First generation was?
Balls and vacuum tubes.
Louder.
Balls and vacuum tubes.
Vacuum tubes, okay. Anything else? ये सारे terms है, ये चीज़ को समझना है. इसलिए इसमें what I'm trying to do here is that as a part of UPSC and other exams, the basic terminology, the meaning part. So remember that, I'll tell you that. First generation nanotechnology products, first you understand that, I'll give you everything written part with example. First generation nanotechnology products were passive kind of system. Passive, not active, passive. Right, I'll give you example, like something called colloid. Toothpaste, you know that, colloid and all this. Emulsions, aerosols. These are first generation, so where the scientists used to make such kind of colloids and aerosols, those kind of things. What is second generation? Active nanostructures. Right, I'll give you example active there. Like for example, targeted drugs. Right, targeted drugs. I've said nano gold, which can be tagged with anti-cancer, is active. Why? It will deliver the drug to the cancer. Targeted drug delivery kind of system. So they become what? Active systems, which you are trying to go to the particular place there. There goes second generation. Now what is third generation? Third generation comes here. System of nanosystems. That means you already have such nanosystems and you make even larger size. One good example which comes here is the, let's say, guided assembly or called 3D networking, three-dimensional networking. Like for example, graphene. We'll make a graphenes kind of thing there. Or quantum dots. Those kind of things there. And what is the fourth generation? In advanced case, that is what is said here is a molecular nanosystem. Very important one is the molecular nanosystems, like for motor, drivers, rings. Last year, Nobel Prize has been given for synthesis of such kind of a nano-sized rings, machines. What is the machines? Today we see the machines the large size. Imagine that there is something called nano machines, which can do all the tasks at the smaller scale. So these all generations have happened. Again, what is very important? Research. So you can just give a heading in your note copy, generations of nanotechnology. And just point-wise, I'll give you an example also. Generation of nanotechnology, number one, first generation. First generation products. Just give the heading there. First generation products. Now you write this. In bracket you write passive nanostructures. What again? First generation products in bracket passive. PASSIVE, passive nanostructures. Now you can write example. Example, aerosols. Aerosols, comma, colloids, COLLOIDS. Right, comma, I'll give one more example. Coatings, COATING, coatings of nanoparticles. Aerosols, comma, colloids, COLLOIDS, comma, coatings of nanoparticles. Right, coatings, surface coating, made of nanoparticles. They are called first generation. Right? तो एग्जाम में क्या क्वेश्चन आएगा? एग्जाम्पल पूछा जाएगा और समथिंग विल बी गिवन. Like one side you are given generation, second example. Now number two, second generation. Now write number two, second generation products. In bracket write active nanostructures. Active nanostructures. Now write for example, targeted drugs, comma, bio devices, right? Then comma, very important word I am coming here, 3D transistor, 3D capital T, transistors. This comes in electronics part, 3D transistors. Now why is called active? Because transistor has to do the work there in terms of the magnifier, amplifiers and all होता है, electronic rectifier होता है, active system बोलते हैं इसको, etc. Now third generation, you write number third generation products. Third generation products. Now you can write there. In bracket you write, in bracket, systems of nanosystems. Systems of nanosystems. What is third generation? Systems of nanosystems. For example, you write, for example, guided assemblies, comma, 3D networking, comma, very important point, robotics, 3D networking, comma, robotics. Because what happened robotics? You combine them together, form a bigger architecture, robotics, etc. And the last you can write number fourth generation products. Fourth generation products. Then in bracket you write molecular, in bracket you write molecular nanosystems. Now you write example there. Molecular devices such as nanomotors, comma, nano rings, etc. They are also called molecular machines, right, etc. Nano motor, nano rings, etc. These are a molecular size. We are talking in terms of a such kind of design there, right? Now, what I'm doing here, I'll take you to certain pictorial thing, visual aspect there. You'll see what is exactly the nanotechnology all about. Second generation is again the product only, but they have got some kind of functionalities, more functionality. That means, let's say for example, transistors. The transistor, what happens? Use an electronic circuit IC. They help in some kind of amplification function, increases signal and all this. So they do this kind of work. That's they are called active. Second generation is called active there. Active work comes there. Now let's look at here. But there are pairs there. Now is that. But now I'm coming to this. Let me see the net is working. The net is working there. I'll open that. What I'm taking you to the website of Nobel.org, Nobel Prize. You'll see what is the molecular machine description given there. Now October month, all will come there. Now see, Joe and Francis Nobel. Photograph is given, right? There's a home page there. There's the Nobels. ये कुछ और आ गया लगता है. I had to write complete one. मुझे लगा कि सच में Nobel, Alfred Nobel has come. Then I worried that again, ठीक है, Nobel.org. Was he married there? अच्छा, Joe, maybe that's something. Now another photograph. Something different is there. So let me do something. So confusion हो रहा है यहाँ पर. ये system problem है. System problem happen. Now, so somebody has a registered domain name. What is called domain name with the name of Nobel. Anybody can do that. So let me write here Nobel Prize there. That is a Nobel Prize. Why this Google is not coming here? Or let me write Nobel Prize. Now it will come there. So Nobel Prize, if you look at, as a nobelprize.org, that's what Nobel.org I was doing that. That was a big mistake there. This is the right. Now, thank God, I got the website there. Joe Nobel or whatever. I was worried that he was unmarried, right? Alfred, how the couple has come there. Nobelprize.org. Right, now, for the greatest benefit of mankind, now it is given there. Now this Nobel Prize announcement will be this year on 2nd October. This is what the dates have been announced there. And then you have Nobel laureates facts and all this part given there. Now you find Marie Curie, Rabindranath Tagore, Karl Landsteiner, he was in the news, ABO blood grouping, Albert Einstein, theory of relativity, gravitational waves, LIGO, all these are there. You have the featured videos also there, right? And what I was saying here, last year Nobel Prize, 2016. So let's say, for example, 2016 there. So 2016 Nobel Prize. Okay. So 2016, if you look at this prize there, in chemistry. Very clearly given there. I'll read that. The people who cannot see there. What is it? The Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2016 was awarded jointly to Jean-Pierre Sauvage, Sir J. Fraser Stoddart, and Bernard L. Feringa for the design and synthesis of molecular machines. That was recognized. Nobel Prize was given that. That's what called fourth generation nanotechnology. Like clearly given there. Remember that whenever Nobel Prize will be announced, when you go there, in the newspaper also will come there. Right? Current aspect also, like Vision IAS will also provide you everything. But you will also find something called press release. There's a press release document given there in the PDF format. And now here, this is the, you find your prize announcement, press release there. You have advanced information also there, this one. You'll have the, now what is said here? I'll just try to zoom out there. Now see here. They developed the world's smallest machines. This is what is given. They developed world's smallest machines. A tiny lift, artificial muscles, and minuscule motors. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2016 awarded in all this. They have developed molecules with controllable movements, which can perform a task when energy is added. Such kind of tiny thing which we cannot see with eyes, but they can perform functions there. And if you look at what is given here, see. The development of computing demonstrates how the miniaturization of technology can lead to a revolution. Right, this is what the new dimension has been taken chemistry to a new dimension there. And then it gives you the history of that part, mechanical bond, and this. Now, one example, one very good word is used here, rotaxane. This is the word is here, rotaxane. They have developed this kind of what is called Stoddart. Rotaxane. This molecule is there. UPSC will not ask you that kind of thing, but just to make you aware what exactly is the current state of research, what has been developed there. Right? This is what you find there. Rotaxane kind of thing demonstrates that the ring was able to move along the axle. Right? Development was there. So where it will find application? It will find application in the, let's say, medicine. Right? This is what I have written here. Or any of such kind of applications, such machines can be used. Right? That's what the generation. So let's say if UPSC asks in the exam in such kind of area and then use the word generation or something of that. So at least you'll be aware what is this generation means in terms of development of nanotechnology. Right? Is it clear here? Now I'm coming to the next part of this. That is the in terms of another material. I have mentioned the graphene one, and this is what you have now, the Nobel Prize last year. Let me put across another example, very good example. You all know that fullerene. What is fullerene? Buckminster fullerene. How many carbon atoms are there? It's called C60. 60 carbon atoms. It just look like a football. It's also a nanomaterial. Right? Right. So scientists have been working to develop such kind of structures. Nanostructures have been created. Right? Buckminster fullerene is C60 atoms. Right? So today number of application comes. I'll give you one example that today in terms of microscopy, right, which we see there, you know, electron microscope, which can generate image of cells and atoms and materials there. In the field of electron microscope, there's something called as atom force microscope, AFM. What do you find in such kind of atom force microscope? The tip of the microscope is made of nano size. The needle, the tip part of that. And it moves on the material. Whatever it is, the images, electron, this moves on the material. And it generates the image, which is not possible to see there. So the tip is made of a very small size. Right, atomic force microscope. I'm just giving example. So you'll find such kind of examples in a different context there. Right? Now what I'm coming here, this is the application part, generation of nanotechnology. Now what I'm coming here, what are negative sides? Nanotechnology promises to have this kind of benefits to mankind. So why the people are then opposing? If we get all this kind of things which will be helped in future case, so what are the aspects there? I've already said there. So when you look at the negative side of this, so what comes in negative side here is this one. So you can write in the note copy there. Negative aspects of nanotechnology. And then I'll come to some critical analysis also there. Now first thing is what I've said here is health impact. Why the health impact? I have mentioned, that's what I have not removed this flowchart of the application part. What I've said here is that today we are using such product. In future more and more application will be there as a consumer product. And that, let's say, go inside anywhere in the body. We inhale, it goes inside the body. Or let's say it goes into the bloodstream. Or let's say it goes to the skin. So what will happen? It can lead to certain type of disorders. So let's say, for example here, formation of free radical. It can trigger formation of free radicals. This is what the scientists have been warning. Free radicals which can affect the human function there. Or let's say damaged DNA can cause mutation, can cause cancer. So one aspect has been raised as a fear there. What is second aspect here is that, which is also linked with health. The things is also linked with health. And a very important concept I'm going to explain here, environmental impact. Now environmental impact, two things are there. First thing is that it will cause pollution. Right? What it will cause there? It will cause pollution. It can lead to pollution part, right? Why pollution? Now explain why it will lead to pollution there. They are extremely small. They are very, very small. right, which can be easily go to the soil or water and can be carried from one place to another. Nanoparticles are very, very small, right? So pollution is what? Because of the small size. They have the very small size and they can be easily carried from one place to another, right? That is why the nanoparticles can cause the problem there, pollution aspect. And one more thing is that you all are aware. What is the part there? What problem will be the environmental problem? Microorganisms will be affected, okay. One more thing is, very general thing is there. You are aware of that. There's something called bioaccumulation, biomagnification. Right? What is bioaccumulation, biomagnification? Biomagnification in food chain. Why it happens there? Transfer. No, but generally when you study about food chain, food web, we talk in terms of energy or biological mass. But what I'm saying here, biomagnification, when there is a successive increase in the concentration of harmful, toxic, non-biodegradable substances, which cannot be broken down. So what happens is successive increase in concentration of harmful substance across food chain. So just like chemical pesticides or harmful chemicals, if such nanoparticles enter the roots of the plant, from the soil to the roots of the plant, from the plant to herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, even humans, so we'll get more concentration, will be affected. So that is also linked with health. Biomagnification can cause health impact, right? Now, what is third aspect which I said? It has also been discussed from the security concern. Right, security concern. Now, what is security concern here? As I said here, for example, use of bioweapons can result into such kind of problems there. Besides, again remember, though nanotechnology started, what is very important, still it is costly. It requires a lot of investment, right? It requires a lot of research. So that's why it has not become so popular, right? So there are also cost factor and everything is there. Okay? Now, these three aspects which I have given, but at the same time you can also write, it requires more research, more development in that case. It also takes more money into investment, more investment required for development of nanomaterials. So those all are the hindrances. You can say hindrances for development of nanotechnology. Right? Now what I'm coming here, another aspect, all this kind of thing which is humans can be at risk. So there has to be what? Certain type of guidelines, certain type of law for that. So today we don't have any such law. Let's say those scientists who are working in the lab and they are exposed to such kind of a thing and they have any kind of health impact. So there has to be certain type of guidelines for that. Right? So what is very important, given the fact that it has the benefits but also the negative impacts, there is a discussion on terms of having a regulation, laws there. So maybe in future such laws will be brought or already existing laws will be amended. Right? Now what I'm coming here, the government of India has already now come out with a nanotechnology use in the lab, the rules for that. Worldwide also the rules have been brought for how the person who handles nanomaterials, how they can be able to use those ones. So I'm linking from what? Current aspect there. So if you look at here, in terms of the current aspect here, so that current aspect which comes here, there's now guidelines for safety aspect in terms of nanotechnology products there. And the Department of Science and Technology has been using there. So let's say here, see, normal weapons will come with the chemicals and something of that. But here I've said this is the bacteria or virus. That part is pathogen. I've said that. That is also there. People will be affected. But here what happens? Bioweapons not only affect there, but also affect the environment also. Animals also there. So sulfur gas. अगर हम कुछ nano size में करते तब होता है. Let's say here, what I'm doing here, nanotechnology used there. The wire has been given here. Guidance for safe research practices. There's a WHO guidance on nanomaterials and worker safety. And recently there's a guidance have been there, safe handling of that nanomaterial. So I also use the PDF. So that's what I said. The basic concept remains this one. But again, there's something which you have to be keep in mind because let's say if UPSC asks question there in the means exam or something you have to write there. The WHO guidelines on nanomaterials and workers' health. And says what? Call for experts. WHO is in the process of identifying scientific knowledge. ठीक है, यहाँ दिया हुआ है अब ये सब चीजें अब शुरुआत हो रही है, पहले नहीं था. Now the worldwide is being discussed because more and more use of nanotechnology will take place. So now the health aspect has been brought WHO, and now see what is doing, protecting workers from potential risk of manufactured nanomaterials, and this is what is workers in all countries. What is mentioned here? Workers in all countries face new risks from manufacturing applications rapidly advancing new technology based on nanometer scale atomic structures, which I explained in the classroom there. The World Health Assembly identifies the assessment of health. और उसके लिए क्या है? Global Action Plan, Global Plan of Action for Workers' Health. Now, it's being now considered worldwide. Okay, now it's coming there. Okay. So this is what action plan is there, and what I said from Indian perspective, this guideline is there. Right, this is the new guideline from DST, Department of Science and Technology. Right, UPSC examination requires a holistic aspect. You should know the concept, application, advantage, disadvantage, right, use, misuse, or anything from the government perspective. So this is what I wanted to bring in the classroom. Guidelines and best practices of safe handling of nanomaterials in research labs and industries. The entire document has been brought from there. So Nano Mission DST there. Center for Knowledge Management, Nanoscience and Technology there. There's a lab there and it has come out with the entire guidelines there. Right. So there it has come into that guidelines. We're saying that how the every aspect, handling, identifying, what is given here, see here. I'll just simply, first is saying that what is the use there, where we are using that. And second, what is saying here is that in terms of the main thing is identifying hazards. What type of hazards could be there because of such nanomaterials. Like, so this thing. And then taking precaution so that any kind of a risk, exposure, where risk can be there, can be minimized. अब प्रॉब्लम यही होता है ऐसे डॉक्यूमेंट्स क्या होंगे बल्कि होंगे 24 पेजेस एंड ऑल तो सारी चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है राइट तो मेन एस्पेक्ट विच यू हैव टू बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट राइट सो ये एक एस्पेक्ट है नाउ व्हाट आई एम कमिंग हियर फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पर्सपेक्टिव where the question came in the last year, that was the nano mission program, nano science and technology mission, right? And again, I'll add one more thing. Today, I've said in the classroom that India is now ranked third worldwide in terms of publication in nano science and technology. Now you understand why there was a need to bring this guideline, because today we are using in a more numbers nanotechnology research. India में research काफ़ी हो रहा है, तो वहाँ पर क्या है खतरे की भी बात हो सकता है, the risk can be there. That's why the DST has to bring a guideline, right? So you can say one thing, what? एक ये plus point है from the subjective point of view. India is a pioneer country that has brought a guidelines. Others are now thinking of that. Like WHO is asking for the thing there, but Indian government has brought the guidelines in terms of handling the nanomaterials. Right? Now let's look at nanoscience and technology. This mission program, the first started with initiative. It started as a initiative program there. So let me write here. I'll give all the point here. So first one, in terms of its development, so first it started as a nano science and technology initiative in 2001. It started in 2001. So already the 16 years of the program, 2001 started. So there was no any formal aspect of that. Finally in 2007, right, 2007, there was a launch of this program there. Launch of the program happened there. and it was done with DST as a nodal agency there. The nodal department comes in terms of the DST there, Department of Science and Technology, for this particular program, and initially rupees 1,000 crore was allocated. And this program started under the supervision of Dr. C.N.R. Rao, Bharat Ratna awardee. Professor Rao, C.N.R. Rao, was given the in charge to take forward development of this mission program. And 2007, 1,000 crore was given to develop there for 5 years, 2007 to 2012. For 5 years, the money was given there. And under this program, the mission objectives. So if you look at it, the following are the objectives of this program there. The first thing was that to identify in the country what all places or which all institutions we can build the infrastructure. What infrastructure means? Sophisticated labs, instruments, which will be done for material science research. That was the thing there. So in terms of objectives of this one, the first objective comes here was in terms of first the creating infrastructure. And the government gave the fund for building such kind of a lab where research can be carried out, building infrastructure. Let's say, for example, what I said here, atomic force microscope, AFM. So it requires those kind of sophisticated, high-end technology instruments were required. So that was all given there, funding was done there. What was second here? Second was that if we want to build nanotechnology research in India and we want to use nanotechnology for in the area of water, environment, food security, medical science, healthcare, agriculture. So what is very important there? It has to be also in terms of building the manpower, human resource development. So what becomes very important in human resource development? Education. So there in terms of what? Master level program, PhD level program, that has been started. So here, human resource development HRD. So what was done in HRD was that there's a master's program there. Master's degree and then research in terms of PhDs. Started to promote the research part of that. Today you'll find Indian Institute of Sciences, IITs, NITs, other labs or establishment where all this have been started. Why? To create the manpower. That will present. Now what comes here third? Under this is only there. To build the nanotechnology base in India. A master degree in that, specialized. Or let's say for example, those who are engineers who does the BTech, let's say material science, metallurgy and all this. So there can be specialized MTech program for that, which can deal with the making some kind of nanomaterial and all this. Or in PhD there can be specialized area where such kind of materials can be developed and they can be given the degrees on that. So this has already been done in the country. In India we are doing that. What is the next aspect? The benefits of nanotechnology should go to society. So there what comes? Industrial aspect, industrial growth. So there requires what? We require the third thing, one is called capacity building. That is in terms of training. Training was given the focused area. That we should have skilled manpower which can go and work in the nanotechnology related industries. And then there in terms of what? Fourth comes what? Academic industries collaboration. That is also another, like what called collaboration or synergy. So that whatever being done at the research level in the labs, lab to market, it should go to the market. That kind of approach has been built as one of the very important objectives under the nanomission program. Then apart from this, what happens there? Let's say when there is more and more nanotechnology development, then what comes there? Business incubators, entrepreneurship development. So it also emphasizes on entrepreneurship. And today, if any entrepreneur or any startup, they want to work in the field of nanotechnology and want to bring out that, the government gives the fund for that. Under this mission, the funding is given there. And then what comes the last one? IPR, intellectual property rights. Let's say whatever new products been developed, they can be patented. Intellectual property rights can be promoted in the country. So these are the 6, you can say, important pillars of nanomission. So last year, the question which was asked in the exam, a candidate has to write from this perspective. Right? Now we'll add certain more things there. Other than that, the current aspect that now central government has come out with new strategy. What I said, this program was 2007. and 1,000 crore was given till 2012. So now there was again need for more funding, or in terms of that, and now the funding has been given. So if you look at in this case, nanotechnology case, the nanotechnology, their new strategy has been brought. And where do you find this one? PIB, Press Information Bureau. When you go to the website of PIB, so I'm just giving here nanotechnology strategy there. Major achievements in during last 1 year, that is what you find here. And then recently department has released the nano mission based there, continuation of this. Now see here what is given. This is the PIB press release. All these have been given in the vision material also. When you read the current affairs, there it has been added also there. But I'll give it 20th February 2014. At that time, the government continued the program. And is given here is the continuation of the nanoscience and technology in the 12th 5-year plan. Right now the plan is not there, but it's given that today gave its approval and all, 12th plan, 650 crore. So initially 1,000 crore, now 650 crore further given. And what is it? Nanotechnology is a knowledge intensive enabling technology, which is expected to influence a wide range of products with far reaching implications of national economy and development. And says the mission program will target all scientists, institutions and industry in the country. It will also streamline, this is called here, strengthen activities in nanoscience and technology by promoting research and all this. Now what is very important now, to spearhead all this one, to spearhead all these activities, there's something called Nano Mission Council. There's a council formed which has got chairman and members. The first chairman was Dr. Rao. Professor C.N.R. Rao was the head of this council, which can look into funding, investment. So there is council also there. Given here, it will be anchored in the Department of Science and Technology and steered by National Mission Council, Nano Mission Council there, chaired by an eminent scientist. Very clearly given. Nano Mission Council, eminent scientist, will be the head of the program there. Right? Then if you look at background, it is given, which I have given there. What is said? 2007. I mentioned that this launch of the program 2007. The background information. So what is mentioned here? 2007 is an umbrella capacity building program. As a result of the efforts, today India is among top 5 nations in the world. Scientific publication, nanoscience and technology. Now this PIB is what? 2014 release. But in 2016, the PIB says 3rd rank. So now see the 3rd rank means a lot of things there. Right, now here moving from the 4th to 3rd position, very clearly given. 4th to 3rd position. Nano mission itself resulted in about 5,000 research papers. Now see that 5,000 research papers. And what it says here, about 900 PhDs. And this we have done in a very short span of time. For biotechnology, for space, defense, that took a lot of number of years. But this area has gone very fast. And I'll tell you, not only the IAS or IIT or government funded research organization, even the private universities are also into nanotechnology. They're also involved into that. Right? You'll find many of the South Indian private funded universities, they have dedicated nanoscience and technology research. And now what is very important here, if you look at nano, now what has been developed, this is also given there. Now see what is given here. Useful product like nano hydrogel based eye, given here, eye drops. Right, hydrogel based nano eye drops are there. This has been developed in India. Another thing is that pesticide removal technology, to remove pesticides. For that, from drinking water, it has been developed. Water filters for arsenic and fluoride removal, which can remove arsenic and fluoride from water. A technology has been developed. Then what is given? Nano silver, which is used for antimicrobial textile coating, etc. So many has been worked out there. So what I said here was that lab to market. What is developed to go to the market there. And finally, you'll find this Indian scientists have been given global state-of-the-art facility like photon factory at Tsukuba, Japan. Petra 3 in Hamburg, Germany. Nano mission has also assisted in national dialogues to promote. So what you can write, one more thing is that apart from this IPR generation, what comes here? International collaboration. It also is forced what? International collaboration with other research scientists and organizations there. ठीक है So when you write mains exam or something, essay type question or something, so I've given international collaborations there. Now this is what is said, the different labs and organizations where it has been funded there, right? Focused on useful technology and all this. ठीक है, तो ये चीज़ को है. And what you have to do from current aspect, whatever comes in the material, any nanotechnology development, that part you have to focus on that. ठीक है, ये चीज़ है. So nano science and technology broadly goes into that. You don't have to go to the too much of the chemistry part of it, the other part, but the general aspect, what all approach, what type of generation of nanotechnology, where the application comes, those areas you have to, along with government intervention part, right? Now I'm coming to the area of robotics. So I have asked in the question in the exam, a question in the classroom there, so what is robot? So what is the normal meaning of robot? So let me first explain something, then I'll give you written part of it. When you say robot, what does that mean? Epistemology means, epitome root word. From where this word robot has come? Robot word has come from where? I robot. That is the movie there. I the robot. Robot word has come from Czech word. Czech. I'll give you written part. First understand. Czechoslovakia or Yugoslovakia. Right. There is a word called robota. What is the word here? Robota. Robota word comes from that. And robota means actually a person who has to provide the service, compulsory service, or you can say compulsory labor. There is a person who has to deliver or give compulsory labor or service there. Right? It has to give the labor. That's what robota means. That's why I'm saying the literal meaning of the term, from where the English word robot has come. But this, I'll give you the history of this. The first time the word in terms of robot has come into existence during a play, what was a Russian play, where it was said that man-like machine, a machine, human machine, there the robot word comes into that. But actually, in the field of robotics, all the development, you'll come across a very famous science fiction writer, and the person who has also contributed, Isaac Asimov. There's a contribution of Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov has given what is called laws of robotics. Right, 3 laws, and again he added 0th law, right? Laws of robotics. What is these laws of robotics? You will sometimes find in the Hollywood movies also there. These laws of robotics, three laws he has given. Any idea what is these laws there? Yes.
Can never attack on the human.
A robot should not harm a human being
Always follow.
because of its inaction or any kind of thing there. It should not harm a human being. Second says that a robot should always obey the command of the human being there. And is opposite the first. What it says that a robot should always obey the command, right, given to that. Second is that robot should not harm human beings. Right? Again, it should not violate the first one. The command has to be obeyed there. Third is that robot should protect itself. Right? This is also given there. The robot should protect itself given the fact first 2 above laws are not violated. What is the first 2 above law? Command, instruction given by the master, and second, not to harm any human being. This is how the laws of robotics comes. This is all very interesting aspect comes from the robotics fiction kind of thing when you read there. That's why nowadays even the robots which are like human-like, which have developed, and there's one robot which is humanoid, human-like robot has been named Asimo. Japan's Honda company has made Asimo to give credit to this writer there, Isaac Asimov, right? But what is the real sense robot means? What I've said here, programmed machine. This is the programmed machine there. Now, but from engineering aspect, if you look at from engineering aspect, robotics area, this comes from what is called mechanelectronics. Mechanelectronics part. Now, what is the mechanelectronics? It is a combination of 3 areas of science and technology. First is electronics, because robot uses sensors, number of sensors, and the first area is called electronics. Second is called mechanical engineering, because robot has got parts, mechanized parts are there. Then motors, then hand, arm. So mechanical engineering comes in terms of design. And third comes program. software program, computer science. So that's what it's called mechanical electronics, because it uses the concepts and part of the electronics development. And then I've said mechanical engineering, and then computer science and engineering, that area comes into, and computer science. But now what is happening with the advancement, right? What is called artificial intelligence, AI, cognitive science, and those development there. So there now, robot is again getting the part of two things. One is automation. Robot is basically automation comes into that. Because once you program a machine like a robot, the robot will keep on doing the task continuously, 24/7, which a human cannot do that. So that the automation comes. And second thing which is now coming to the robotic is AI, artificial intelligence. Right, what is artificial intelligence? What do you mean by artificial intelligence? Kritrim buddhimata. So what is that intelligence into you?
To act functionally in the mind of oneself.
Okay. See, artificial intelligence comes in two contexts. One is that problem solving. How we solve a problem? How humans solve a problem? Let's say, for example, how? Prior, like for example, or let's say even I give you a new problem. Forget about the prior experience, but I'll give you a new problem. That you have to reach from this classroom to Karol Bagh metro station in just 5 seconds. There's a problem there. So what will you do that? You'll start thinking. In 5 seconds you have to reach. So what all things you'll take the? You'll do what? You'll take the shortest path. You'll think which one? Should I take a rickshaw? Should I run like a bhag milka bhag? And should I fly there and jump into the metro station there without any metro card? Right? All these options are there. So what I want to say, human thinking is like trial and error. If one thing doesn't work, we try the another strategy. Another strategy doesn't work, we try third one. Okay, prelims. Next strategy. Mains, next strategy. Interview, next strategy. That's what is there. So that is what comes into what is called heuristics. Let me come to this. There is something called heuristics, which is based on trial and error. Whereas a computer, let's say this computer, laptop, or any computer, personal computer, works on algorithm. What is an algorithm? Set of rules. It will only follow, execute the rules. Whatever program you have written, same program will be executed. The computer cannot think left and right, but man can think in different dimensions. If we, in artificial intelligence, provide this kind of heuristics to machine, it can have human thinking, human problem there. And second is what? That's what I said. Whatever man does, the machine does. That is the gap between the man and machine to be minimized. Again, that calls artificial intelligence. US today is ranked number 1 in terms of AI. USA, many of AI-based application and products are being used. In India, we are lacking. We are lagging in AI, automation, robotics. In India, we don't have that one. What we find in countries like US and Europe, they're advanced, or Japan, they have this kind of system developed. Right? Now, in this case, AI, what I want to bring here, there's something what is called here humanoid robots. Human-like robots. Humanoids. And I'll give you certain examples. The first example, I have already said in the classroom, Asimo. There's another example, Now. It has come in science report and all that, Now. Now is a robot which can speak like humans. It can talk to you, have conversation, can communicate, can understand human language. Right? There have been robots developed which can understand human emotion also there. There's something called Kismet. KISMET. MIT in US has developed. Kismet can understand human feeling, human expression. No, but it can. Over there. Why possible there? But this is what I say. This is what I have given. Why? How they can understand the human feeling like anger, or happiness, or sadness? Face recognition. They have something called face recognition. They have software for that, which can understand what is the emotion of the humans there. Right. So now, Now is a, like a, in true sense called a small 2 feet robot there. And there's a version of now which is being used by Citibank in Chennai as a on banking help, what called Lakshmi. Lakshmi has also made news there. Lakshmi is the first banking robot of India. Whatever robot? Humanoid robot. So Lakshmi can tell you about 125 subjects. Right? If you ask how to open a bank account, right? How to close an account, every information Lakshmi will tell you. You don't require an economics teacher. Bank rate, CRR, all these are programmed there. Lakshmi is the on desk banker there. And at the same time, Lakshmi will also tell your bank account detail also, but not through voice, by through a screen. Where, because if you say 10 lakhs or 1 rupee, it's really, that will be very embarrassing there. So that confidential information disclosed in the screen there. Is again a part of humanoids there. In Japan, every year there's something called humanoid race is conducted, where the robots they participate in a competition. So there's a lot of companies there, like IBM, like Honda, the companies which are working in robotics and working to develop such kind of artificial intelligence based humanoids. Right? Now I'll show you certain now and this part of this, okay, how they work and all this. Then I'll come to written part of that. Then I'll give you now this one. World's top 3 robots, but first 10 amazing robots that will change the world. Oh, sound. I'll start again.
Final robotic Olympic event, the obstacle course. On your marks.
Well, I got down. Now can I get up?
Get set.
The day of living like the Jetsons, mechanized made and all, gets closer all the time. Here are 10 great robots, some of which are even available to the public. Number 10. Honda's Asimo. The humanoid robot stands a bit over 4 feet and weighs in at 100 is suited to run free. Number 4. VGo Virtual Student. Stuck at home with a severe immune disorder, a student in Texas is now able to attend classes thanks to a robot. She can power the virtual version of herself via internet and participate in what's going on thanks to a webcam.
Miranda suffers from a weak immune system that doesn't allow her to attend class in person, but thanks to this robot pilot program, she's back in the classroom.
Number 3. RoboFly. If you could design a robot, what would you make it do?
Down there, and now we can see the now, how the now looks.
I thought it was amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Going up and down the steps was very cool, because that I would think would be really hard, especially going back down the steps. That was cool.
See it this close and how fluid it is insane. It's pretty insane.
I felt almost an emotional connection with it. Almost immediately, I could see how, humans could definitely get attached on that level.
I thought it was a wonderful piece of technology. The advancements have only seemed to have gone further from the original. Just the capability of him is outstanding.
For a minute there, you just wonder if there's actually somebody inside that thing,
You can see a robot get the movement in his arms and shoulders and all the joints you expect a human to have, so it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did not know robots could do that kind of stuff.
Asimo was awesome.
Asimo was awesome, yeah, it was incredible.
He's awesome. He is.
I think everybody should have one.
Namaste. 私は川田工業と産総研で共同開発されたロボット ACRT4 です。まず最初に私のハードウェアの特徴をお見せします。可動範囲を示す最小動作と 7自由度ある腕の動きを示す動作、拡張された PC を搭載した背中をご覧ください。次に音声認識を行います。
右足を前に。荷物搬送ポーズ。手の甲を見せて。決めポーズ。前後に歩いて。左右に。
As I explained, this is a new version of the robot. It's a new version that we released last month with improvement requested, asked by some of our customers. For instance, we have longer arms, we have curved arms, because customer wanted to have a larger working space. So this is how we designed this robot. So in this version, we improved the quality of the robot in terms of robustness. We improved the motion engine, having a much smoother walking, reliable and able to work on small obstacles without falling down.
Something else. May I?
No, keep quiet. After that, in terms of software, with some face recognition engine, so the robot is able to recognize your face once he has learned it. Picture recognition, image recognition, or this kind of things that help turning him more interactive. You can present. So very clear expression. But I want him to stop making noise during my speech.
Can someone please switch on the light? I promise. I'll be quiet now.
So if we really want the robot to be able to help people, humanity, so we need to have the robot accepted casting positive affects. And this is a question of shape of the robot, this is a question of design, but it's more a question of behavior. Hey, now, tell us a story. Okay.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the galaxy is living in dark times again.
Here I will demonstrate the full manager. See the robot, and I will push him and crash him. So it's not very easy to see that, but when he feel that he was beginning to fall down, so he prepared himself.
Are you insane? You could have hurt me.
Tell me a little bit of your background.
People are always asking that about finance. I didn't came from finance. I came from IT. I came from a hobbyist who was developing electronics or electronical system when I was young. So I already had developed some robots. I was fan of fiction, scientific fiction, and I told myself, okay, one day is going to be the right time for launching a company and for having the same kind of hundreds of thousands of people interested in joining this community and helping developing this new world, exploring this new incoming world of robotics. I like this one because it's very smooth motion, it's not very mechanical dance. It's music by Vangelis about the movie 1492. And finally, this robot is nothing but a platform to explore this new world of robotics.
Play was having that background there. Rostam was one of the character, and that character has built man-like robot, human-like robots, to carry out the work, and that's what the word robota was used. So I have given in the first paragraph the meaning, how the word has come. Give a full stop there. Now you can write this. Next paragraph, write this. A robotic application can be semi-automated, as well as fully automated. Semi-automated as well as fully automated. You have to stop there. Now give there. A robot can be used in following applications. The robot can be used in following applications. Give it dash number 1 first. Industries can be used in following applications dash number 1 industries. Now you know that many industrial applications, like for example you could write car assembly. You have seen that, let's say Volkswagen car assembly or any manufacturing unit, it uses the robotic application. They put all the components together. Right? It's all fully automated. It's all done without human control there. So here, let's say industries, for example, car assembly, right? Comma, cutting and welding. You have simple arm which can cut, cutting and welding, comma, bottling and sampling. Cutting and welding, comma, bottling and sampling, etc. Bottling and sampling, etc. Right? Now number 2, second. Medical science. Number 2, medical science. Number 2, medical science. For example, Dr. Saab, कहाँ use होता है? Medical science, robotic application. For example, robotic surgery. For example, robotic surgery. Robotic surgery. Today, robotic surgery is done in India also there. Like Gangaram has got robotic surgery. BL Kapoor Hospital has got, Apollo has got robotic surgery. So what is done in robotic surgery?
Told by a surgeon.
Surgeon only. So that's what it says, semi-automated or automated. It can be controlled. It can also be controlled also. It cannot be self there. Like, but is it good to go for robotic surgery? For precision. So not in all cases will come. What type of cases there people can go for robotic surgery? Heart surgery. Which one? Blood vessel. I know one of my friends, he has underwent this robotic surgery in Gangaram Hospital. He had a problem with kidney. There was something, I think maybe cyst or something formed, and then doctor advised that you have to remove that one. But what one advantage was that he recovered very fast, and that means doesn't have the normal kind of thing there. So today it is done in India also there, robotic surgery. There's something also called robotic knife, like laser knife and all this precision cut, precise all those things are done. Number third you can write. Number third, very important point I'm giving. Hazardous occupations. Hazardous occupations. Hazardous occupations. For example, deep sea mining. For example, deep sea mining, comma, space exploration. Deep sea mining, comma, space exploration, etc. Right? Now number 4, the fourth one you can write. Number 4 there, scientific research. Number 4, scientific research. Scientific research. For example, study of active volcanoes. For example, study of active volcanoes. Study of active volcanoes. In Ireland, Ireland is very volcanic active region. 2015, a team of scientists have used volcano boats, and where this volcano boat has gone into crater of an active volcano, because there again is hazardous, because humans cannot go and do that kind of research, but that kind of scientific exploration can be done. That I'll give you one more thing. Sometimes one more thing comes with submersible. You have the device, right, which can be put under the sea and ocean, and can go to Mariana Trench, and can see what kind of living organism the studies are there. So you can also write, comma, submersible. You can say, write this, use of submersibles in ocean research. India has got also, the Ministry of Earth Sciences has got such submersibles. The use of submersibles in ocean research. There's again a scientific research, but again it's a controlled one. Right? It's a controlled device there. Right? Next point you write, next one. Search and, or you can simply write, disaster management support. Next point, disaster management support. For example, disaster management support, for example, search and rescue operations. For example, search and rescue operations. Search and rescue operations. Let's say, for example, now the flood is happening there. Where the people are there, let's say one simple example could be unmanned aerial vehicle. The UAV is also kind of a controlled kind, because remotely controlled. Pilotless flying kind of vehicle there. That can be part. So next you can write, next, defense. Defense, for example, two areas you can. For example, one is UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, comma, ROV, remotely operated vehicles. For example, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicles, and second is ROVs, remotely operated vehicles. Can you give any example, ROV? UAV, I have already discussed in the classroom, and I have already said that in the classroom that, for example, one example I have given Nishant, Lakshya, Rustam, all these examples. But now I am asking ROV, remotely operated vehicles. मैंने बताया था class में, Netra defense, but I have given one very important thing, Daksh. What is Daksh? Daksh is a robot, right? Which organization built Daksh? Daksh was built by DRDO. So I'll tell you that this one, you can see that. Daksh, that is a lab called CAIR. That is Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. It's a DRDO establishment. DRDO has established a center in Bangalore called CAIR, Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. And this center has developed Daksh. Right? Daksh has been developed. What is the use of Daksh in defense? Daksh can diffuse explosives and bombs. Bombs and explosives can be diffused by Daksh. Because in such kind of, let's say, where infiltration happens, like Northeast India and Jammu and Kashmir, so there the lives of the soldiers can be saved. Right? Because such Daksh can be operated from 500 meters. 500 meters तक उसको operate किया जा सकता है. Master control system. And wherever the Daksh goes, right, the camera has got jammer system which can jam the radio frequency there. and it has got water jet disruptor, which can disrupt the bombs, hazardous object. So that is what again the application part comes. Today, Indian Army is already operating Daksh. Right, this also comes. So this is again another important aspect there. Now after defense, next you can write, next point. Next point you can write this. There is a domestic use. Domestic use. Right, domestic application, domestic use there. What all application can be there? For example, cleaning. Right, cleaning part of that. Simple aspect could be a cleaning part of it. Right. Now after that, you write there, another very important one. Humanoids. Next point you write, humanoids. 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 Right. So I've already given example there. Now you can write in bracket, are those robots which work on artificial intelligence. Are those robots which works on artificial intelligence, AI, right? So these are the normal applications. Space also, you know, that something called rover, which roves like Curiosity. Chandrayaan 2 will be a rover. These are again robotic applications, right? Now I'm asking a question. These are the advantage what we get from robots. What are the problems? There was a question asked in the exam, UPSC exam, but I'll give you from different contexts also. What are the problems with the robotics there? In long term, it can harm what? Conventional knowledge. Okay. Anything else? There is one debate which is going in terms of the employment part of that. There is one is going on that. It can create massive labor loss, right? Rapid loss. Yeah, that's also there. Because you know that what I've given here, industrial robots. When we go for more automation, more use of robots, it can create the problem like social and economic problems. Okay. I'll give you something else. Now you can write this. Disaster will also happen there. But it's very, very important from technology point of view I'm giving. Though labor and all this you can write, but I'm giving technology point of view. Just you write there. Problems with industrial robots. Problems with industrial robots are dash, you can write number 1 first. Number 1. Problems with industrial robots are dash, number 1. Limited online sensing. Right. Then number 2, uncertainty in operations. Number 3, traditional programming based. Number 3, traditional programming based robotic applications. Traditional programming based robotic applications lack interaction with humans. Lack interaction with humans. Another very good problem area which I am giving here, requires complete reprogramming. Next point there. Requires complete reprogramming for new tasks. Requires complete reprogramming for new tasks. Next one you can write. Next point there. Write this. Highly costly. Write high cost required in operation. High cost required in operation and maintenance. High cost required in operation and maintenance. Right? And the last point you write, need of trained manpower. Need of trained manpower. So let me explain here. Though robotics can create loss of labor. But it can also result into a creation of new type of labor. Because there you require skilled labor who will be able to handle such kind of machines there.
Skilled labor will be hundreds of unskilled labor.
That's what I say, because normal routine tasks, which a traditional task will be very, which can be done away with the robotics. Because robots can do very fast and accurately there. Now what I'm coming here, just give a heading there. Requirements for robots in, the 3 points will be, 3 points which I'm coming here. You can have requirements for robots in intelligent environments. Just give a heading there. Requirements for robots in intelligent environments. Now you can write dash, number 1, first one, autonomy. Requirements for robots in intelligent environments, first one, number 1, autonomy. Autonomy. Now, in autonomy, you can understand from 2 aspects. One is that it's capable of achieving task, what is given there. You don't require human aspect of that. And second, the understanding this one, it can make and execute and at the same time can continue to do that. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, a new type of robots there, first thing comes the autonomic aspect there. So in bracket you can write, just in bracket I'll put in one sentence. Robots have to be capable of achieving task objectives. Robots have to be capable of achieving task objectives without human input. Robots have to be capable of achieving task objectives without human input. Without human input. And take their own decisions. And take their own decisions. And take their own decisions. Right? Bracket closed. Then number 2, second. Take their own decisions, bracket closed. Number 2, second. Intuitive, INTUITIV, intuitive human-robot interfaces. Intuitive human-robot interfaces. It has to be inbuilt human and machine robot-based interfaces. So sometimes, something can be a smart kind of thing there. Intuitive human-robot interface, FACESS, interfaces. Right? Now we can write there. In bracket you can write. Commands to robots, what does that mean? Commands to robots should be natural. Commands to robots should be natural. Should be natural to be understood by robot. Should be natural to be understood by robots to execute tasks. To execute tasks. Right? Was it? Should be natural to be understood by robots to execute tasks. That's what says that. It should not be something which is not the robot able to make or understand. Bracket close. Now third point here, adaptation. What is required there? Third aspect, adaptation. So in adaptation you can write, in bracket, right? Robots, adaptation in bracket, robots have to be able to adjust. Robots have to be able to adjust to changes. Robots have to be able to adjust to changes in the environment. Robots have to be able to adjust to changes in the environment. Bracket closed. These are the 3 requirements for building such smart robots, right, which I've given there. So robotic part is there. You'll find that robots for intelligent environment. I'll give you certain example there. Like for example, security guard. One application could be security guard, which can be used in kind of environment there, which can be able to detect any kind of a threat at the end. Or it can be, what can be intelligent environment? Delivery. You have given that it can deliver there. Then in terms of what called cleaning and all this part. But again, sometimes robots may not be always hardware structure, what we are talking about right now. Sometimes the robotics could be software also. So there's something new area comes now, software robotics. So software robotics is not like a machine. It's simple the application which can run in the system and is able to do the task automatically. And there the one current aspect is there, bank. ICICI Bank has brought a software robotics. What is software robotics? The system, the software which works and is able to integrate and do all the tasks what is required for the systems to execute. So that is also there. So last you can write there. There is also emergence of software robotics. There is also emergence of software robotics which execute tasks based on running software programs, based on running software programs in computers and devices, in running software programs in computers and devices and devices there. One example what I've given about ICICI Bank, which has come into news, it can be simply kind of that, right? You know, sometimes smart environment, that lady which says that, so nanobot, what is called that? Like when you open the Android phone, what help, what do you want? And you say that open Gmail. So Gmail will get opened up, right? So that is what also have what? Voice recognition system. It recognize your voice. And also I'll tell you that, very, very important that such systems learn from your action. You'll find that there's something inbuilt in the system which learns your behavior. And you don't have to again operate. The system itself will give you the result. What you're looking for, it will give you that. There's such kind of things are now being done through the software programming. Software robotics are also come there. Now what I'm coming here. Now let me explain here. Again this part. So apart from this nanotechnology and robotics part, now what is the development of robotics in India? Where in India robotics have made a cross through. One example I have already given here, DRDO is developing this. So now let me come to that. If you look at robotics in India, so from this perspective, always remember that with this topics of area of new technology, you have to know from all these areas. So that's what I'm trying to build there. At the same time, trying to give you something new also there. And robotics in India, here the first thing which comes here, R&D organizations. So in our country, there are a number of research being done in various R&D organizations. I'll give you a good example. For example, ISRO. ISRO is working for rover for Chandrayaan 2. Right? Let's say here, example, a rover of Chandrayaan 2. But this we are doing with the assistance of Russia. Right? Again, all the research is going on. Second example here, DRDO. Which I said here is that Daksh from CSIR, this CAIR. Right? If you look at here, let's say CIR. I'll write here. CIR, now Daksh. Just see there what is given. This one. DRDO Netra is also there, but this one. These are bomb slayers of the future. This is how the Daksh looks like. It has got trolley also. This has been now getting modified for airport, which can pick up the explosive and can put it there. Right? Now I'm coming to here BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center. See, one aspect in atomic energy program I have discussed in the classroom is the handling of nuclear waste. Right? Even the operation nuclear reactor is all controlled kind of environment, and it all does through the machines. Humans are not there because what? Hazardous. Near the core of the reactor will be what? Radiation. So all is a machine, mechanized. Right? So BARC, if you look at, I'm giving here very important name, Rohitam. What BARC has developed, there's got something called Rohitam. Remotely operated, let me write it, remotely operated. Is a very important development from BARC, remotely operated, hydraulic. HY stands for hydraulic. Hydraulic, T stands for trolley. hydraulic trolley and manipulator. I'll just move, let me write here. What I'm saying that Rohitam, remotely operated hydraulic trolley and manipulator. For handling, what is the use of there? It is used for nuclear waste management. Where is used there? Nuclear waste management and handling emergencies. Right, to handle emergencies and nuclear waste management. Rohitam has been developed. Right, so when you write answers there, so there you can quote such example, what has been done in the R&D labs. Whatever examples have been now made there, is a product there, that comes. Now second comes here, public sector undertakings, PSUs. There are few public sector undertakings which have dedicated research into robotics. Now can you name such PSUs into robotics? Any example? There's a company called HMT. You are aware of it, Hindustan Machine Tools. HMT, right? So when you talk about machineries in India, HMT comes there, Hindustan Machine Tools, which makes machines, machineries. So they have research lab for robotics also. Now there's where is the headquarters? HMT? Bangalore. In Bangalore you'll find the center is the HMT, Hindustan Machine Tools. Now second I'm giving here, very important one, CMTI. Center for this is machines and CMTI, machines and technologies. CM Mysore is there. Maybe let me check the spelling also there. This Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, CMTI Mysore. So where it is involved? Manufacturing part. Right, this is the part of this. Manufacturing. CMTI recruitment, top 25 scientist profile. Now see here, even very unique thing, see here. I've just randomly opened this one, but what comes here? See? There's an institute in Warangal also there, but you can see here, what is there? Nano Manufacturing Technology Center. Right. So that is a part of CMTI. And where they are going the nano manufacturing. Nanotechnology has been brought there. Right. So they have the branches also there, which are involved in this part. Then apart from this one, I'm giving the name of defense PSU involved in robotics, BEL, which you know, Bharat Electronics Limited, which has made the EVM, right? EVM and all, BEL is involved with that. So Bharat Electronics Limited is involved with many of the electronic parts and everything. They have also research labs in robotics. Right, BEL comes into that, right? Then apart from that, what are the other academic institutions? Academic. So there comes the first name, that is I have said in the classroom also there, Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. IAC Bangalore. Right? IAC Bangalore is very old organization there. In terms of teaching and research, IAC has got dedicated department on robotics. They do all the research in the robotics part of that. Because IAC is not only for science, they even the engineering, teaching also. It's a very big centers are there. Apart from that, IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies. There are even the scientists who are working on AI also there, artificial intelligence. So we have this kind of development there. Though in the past 60, 70 years back, the type of development what we started were not focused on robotics. But now in the 21st century, this is another new area has come up there. So maybe coming time, there will be more use into that. Right, so whenever you search, you will find those examples there. Now what I'm coming here, advanced computing. When you talk computing, I have already said in the classroom, CDAC comes. Now what comes in advanced computing? 3 areas. What I'm writing here, first let me draw a flow chart there. In terms of advanced computing, the first thing what comes here is supercomputers. And I've explained that part already in the classroom, but few things I'll write on the flow chart. So what you can do, you can just draw the flow chart here. Advanced computing, I'll put across in the flow chart there. Advanced computing, the first thing, and I'll add one current aspect also, very important current aspect where you could get question in the exam. I'm coming to that part also there. So first thing what comes here is the supercomputing or supercomputers. What is a supercomputer? A supercomputer processes information, stores information, and processes the information with the parallel processing. So there is nothing but cluster of CPUs, right, which are joined together. So it is consists of joining together of number of CPUs and GPUs there. This works on parallel computing. It can process the data parallelly. And you are aware there, I've also said in the classroom that the speed of supercomputer in terms of doing the calculation is measured in terms of flops, floating operation per second. So there, the flops comes into that. How much calculation can be made in a second there? Floating operation per second. Today's supercomputers are in the petaflops. Right? This all comes in petaflops there. Now what I want to bring here, third thing is that there is a software program which has been written to find out the speed of supercomputer. It's called LinPack. You come across LinPack. LinPack stands for Linear Algebraic Program. This package there, Linear Algebraic Program. This particular program has been written to evaluate the speed of supercomputer, and that helps in what is called ranking of the supercomputer. There's something what comes here. I'll write on the top there, since I've already reached the bottom there. My height is small there. So that's right. So what I'm writing, fourth one, top 500. Every 6 months, ranking is done. Top 500 supercomputers of the world. And where India stands? We are not even in 100 also. We are not in top 100, but we are within top 200. But when the Param Yuva 2 was brought, we scaled to the height of rank of 73. But then we again slipped. So today China is number 1. China is ranked number 1. I have said in the classroom also there. There is something China has built earlier, Tianhe. But Tianhe has gone less. Sunway Tehulite. China is ranked number 1. Most of the supercomputers are housed in US. Right? They're housed in US there. Right? India has what I've said here is that Sahasra T. Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, has developed Sahasra. That is a particular Sahasra means 1,000. 1,000. Right? Daha, Sekada, Sahasra. 10, 100, 1,000. And T means tera. Teraflops. So T means 10 to the power 12 operation per second. 10 to 12 calculation per second. So what this becomes is India's first petaflop supercomputer. Did you get there? So what I said, why the name has been given? Sahasra means 1,000. T means tera. Tera into 1,000. 10 to the power 3 means peta. 10 to the power 15. Is India's first petaflop supercomputer. Why it has been developed? It has been developed for structural engineering, biomolecular design, right? Those part of the research that Sahasra is for this one. So it has stands, I think, 1.46 petaflops. Whereas Chinese, Sunway Tehulite, 94 petaflops. Kaha Raja Bhoj, kaha Gangu Teli. China is that was there. But there's a reason for it. What is the reason there? China has a manufacturing base. China has so many these CPUs, unused and whatever may be that. China can combine together and can build such kind of supercomputing facility. Right? India, we lack in manufacturing. That is again become costly. Right? But still, we are developing the Param series of supercomputers. We are developing other supercomputers. And what I'm coming here, 2 more points which you have to remember. The 6th point which comes here, that is the here, Param series of supercomputer by CDAC. Right? And 7th point which I am writing here, which is given in India Yearbook, National Mission on Supercomputer. There is a program of DST and DIT. What I am writing here? Department of Science and Technology and Department of Electronics and Information Technology are together now having a program called National Mission of Supercomputers. So what is the objective of this program? To join together all the supercomputing facilities in India, create a grid network. So we have 70, now see that's what India's achievement. We have now 70 supercomputing facilities in India. Now all these are getting connected together. That is what the funding has been given. National supercomputing there. Now if you look at here, this funding part of it, this India Yearbook has given the information.
All the supercomputers are basically measured or categorized
Through flops only. And also in terms of how much storage they can store the data also there. That also comes there. So this ये छाए रहते हैं हमेशा. Narendra Modi, that is the Prime Minister of India. All documents, everything, you'll first find his photograph. Right? I'll give you more point there, but let me first take you to that chapter there. Scientific and technological development. Initially it has given there, DST there. If you look at here, this part is mentioned there. Nano Science and Technology Mission, which we have discussed in the classroom, that is given there, and now you put here. Climate change, Nidhi, Manak, CSI, where is it gone there? मैंने पहले होना चाहिए. This one. New initiatives aligned with the national agenda, National Supercomputing Mission, was approved in March 2015. This program started in March 2015. This is a visionary program to enable India to leapfrog to the league of world-class computing power nation. That's what I say, we are not even in top 100. So now this objective that we should go into the, become top ranking countries in the world in supercomputers. Right, and the mission is under implementation jointly by the DST and DIT. And how much money has been allocated? 4,500 crore. Big sum has been given, big amount. 4,500 crore has been given for this program there. Right, now over a period of, this is what it says, I'll just scroll up, 7 years. But this information, India Yearbook, doesn't tell you that clustered together, grid. Where do you find this information? Yojana, December month Yojana. There is given that under this program, 70 supercomputing facilities will be combined together to form a particular grid there. Right? Now what comes the second one? What I'm writing here, the second thing, in India, right, we are working on that, but not that much. What has been there in the US and other countries? Quantum computing. Development in quantum computing, right? Now see here, what is quantum computer? A quantum computer is that computer which process information not in the classical bits. The normal computer or supercomputer works with 0 and 1. Here the information unit is 0 and 1. Now there is a there's a principle in quantum mechanics what called entanglement or superposition. The states can be added together. So what is very important here? The first thing comes is based on quantum superposition. Quantum superposition or entanglement. What it says that the states can be added. I'll explain with example also there, but states could be added there. Superposition. So what it says here? An electron can be in 0 state, 1 state, 0 plus 1, both. Right? Normally what to say? See, when you say classical here means fixed. Either 0 or 1. Right? Information there. But based on quantum mechanical principle, it says that it can be 0 also, 1 also, 0 plus 1 also. Probability. This is called entanglement. So it will create more states. That's why it becomes faster. more information storage is there, right? So what is very important is that quantum computing is based on qubits of information. This is what I've said, quantum bits, based on qubits of information, quantum bits of information. Quantum bits of information. Let's understand like this one. Like for example, if you have two as a, let's say, when you have only 2, like n equal 1, so how many will be, goes in 2 to power n? In normal kind of class, binary goes in what? 2. But let's say you have n equal to 2, so how much it becomes here? 4. अब इसको कैसे समझ सकते हैं? मैं समझाता हूँ आपको। 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, जैसे सब समझो ये कंसेप्ट है, जो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, तो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन के केस में व्हाट कैन बी देयर? 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, ये 4 स्टेट है। अगर सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन है n इक्वल टू 1 में सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन, या तो 0 या तो 1, 2 स्टेट। हियर व्हेन से 1, हियर मींस व्हाट? सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन, इधर इट कैन बी 0 और 1, 2 states, 4 state means this. Now what is quantum bits? We'll understand that. What quantum bit says that this state which are created, they can also superimpose. So in the quantum mechanical world, it is not 2 to power n, but it is basically 4 to power n. Did you understand this? I'll explain there. Normal case when you say 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या हो रहा है? ये 4 स्टेट आ रहा है, इसको कहते हैं क्लासिकल स्टेट कहते हैं। ये 4 स्टेट क्रिएट हो रहा है, ये नॉर्मल केस है, नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर डेस। क्वांटम में क्या हो रहा है, क्यूबिट्स में क्या हो रहा है, यही 4 स्टेट जो है ये फर्दर आपस में सुपर इम्पोज हो सकता है, राइट? हाँ, परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन, वो 4 के स्टेट में चला गया वो, देन दे कैन ऑल्सो बी एडेड टुगेदर। So what happened, what you are doing with the normal computers, it increases faster or information in terms of quantum computers. This is what is called, what I've written, superposition. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल क्या याद रखना है, अभी तक यूपीएससी में क्वेश्चन नहीं आया क्वांटम कंप्यूटर पे, तो ये चीज़ को ध्यान रखना है। क्वांटम कंप्यूटर इज वन वेयर यू हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ एडिशन ऑफ द स्टेट्स एंड दैट क्रिएट मोर स्टेट्स देयर, मोर information can be stored and can become faster in operation there, right? Now what is very important, what is it, D-Web. So if you look at worldwide development, this D-Web has been worked out there. Even I have said that Google is also working to develop quantum computers. Now the D-Web here, and I have mentioned in the classroom that this is now being sold to a UK-based company there, D-Web Systems Incorporation, quantum computing. This is the home page of the site, quantum computing. How D-Web systems work, this is given there, right? Now what is given here? Now see here. To speed computation, quantum computers tap directly into the unimaginably vast fabric of reality, the strange and counterintuitive world of quantum mechanics. As I say here, things are very different. It goes to the quantum aspect there. Now quantum computation is saying that. Now what is saying, very clearly says, I'll read there, people cannot see from this side. Rather than store information using bits represented by zeros and or ones, as conventional digital computers do, quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits to encode information as zeros, ones, or both at the same time, right? This superposition of states, along with the other quantum mechanical phenomena of entanglement and tunneling, enables quantum computers to manipulate enormous combinations of states at once, different states at once. And there's a reason for taking this topic because current aspect, China has developed now quantum communication. What is quantum communication? Encoded. Can be encoded. Why? You can generate more. See, आज जो हमारा communication system भी है, digital है. Today the mobile, wireless, all are digitalized. We are working with classical, 0 and 1. but that is not secured. But quantum computers can be more secured. And China is working not only quantum communication, is also working satellite also there. The satellite will have communication through quantum communication, which nobody can crack or hack. Encoded. It gets encoded. Right? This is what is the now present state of research, developing those kind of research. For UPSC exam, PT exam or mains exam, you require this concept. Right? UPSC will not ask you what is entanglement or tunneling or their mathematical formula, but you should know what exactly means tunneling or entanglement. Right? So there you can write in your this flow chart D-Web as supercomputers there. Sorry, quantum computers. So this is one of the good example there. D-Web quantum computer. Right? Now I'm coming to another very interesting aspect of computing, what is called DNA computing or biological computing. Even this has also been done, and something has again come in the current news, the DNA computing. Now what Hindu paper has come out with? Hindu paper has come out with a hard drive which can store information in DNA molecule. Right. Now tell me, why DNA? Why not proteins? Why not carbohydrates? Why not lipids? Why DNA? Yes, I have said in them. You all know that DNA is what? Double-stranded molecule. DNA is, we can make it linear. And also, what is that? A, T, C, G. These are four information, because as genetic information is there, encoded, genetic code. Same way, computing can also take place in place of ATCG, right? So what scientists have done, they have manipulated this piece of information on a DNA strand for storage and calculation. So now imagine such tiny computers, which is just a liquid, and that is able to do the computing there. So I'll come to the point. So what is DNA computing? The first thing is that is based on DNA molecules, right? And what I'm saying here, it will use what? You are also aware, I have discussed in the classroom, the certain type of enzymes which can cut DNA and join DNA, right? What is processing? Zeros and ones are joined together and studies there. Same way, imagine if the DNA can be joined, can be removed, we can do the calculation. So what is here? It is based on the use of, what comes here? Use of enzymes. So what enzymes are there? Restriction enzymes, and what I've said in the class, ligase, we can join together, right? So it uses a set of enzymes as a hardware, which can cut DNA and join DNA. So here, enzymes like restriction enzymes, and then called ligase enzyme. So what I want to say here, we can do the manipulation, we can do the computation with the help of DNA strands, and that can be done with the help of DNA cutting or joining enzymes, restriction enzymes or ligase enzymes. And now I'm coming to development. Israel. Right, Israel, there's a institute called Weizmann Institute of Technology. So third point is that it has developed there what is called in the biological computer. This biological computer at Weizmann, W-E-I-Z, Weizmann Institute of Technology, Tel Aviv, that is Israel. This has been already worked out. In future, this kind of tiny DNA computers can be used inside the human body also. It might be possible after 100 years that we can have such kind of DNA computers which can sense our body environment and can work on that. This is what the scientists are looking for, future prospect of that. And this is one very important thing, why DNA? Because DNA can store infinite amount of information, infinite. I've already said in the classroom that human genome, 3.2 10 to the power 9 billions. That billions of letters are there. So we can do lot of storage and calculation. This has been now worked out there. Scientists are working into that. There is another advanced area there. Now if you look at here, this Weizmann Institute of Technology. It's called finite automation. There's a word called finite automation. That is a biological computer. Israel. Now this here. They have this bioinformatics and biological computing home, and then Weizmann Institute of Scientists designs first general purpose, let me say. It has also come in National Geographic, also it has been discussed there. See here. What is the date here? 99. The year 99. This is what the year is given. Now it is given there. Weizmann Institute of Scientists designed the first general purpose mechanical computing device to serve as the basis for a biological computer. This is what has been said here. The first general purpose mechanical computer designed for biomolecular and pharmaceutical applications has been developed by Professor Ehud Shapiro. The name of the Israeli scientist of the Computer Science and Applied Mathematics Department at the Weizmann Institute of Science. The mechanical computer will be presented, that was at that time, 5th International Meeting on DNA-based computers at the MIT. At that time, it's already been 7-8 years old news is there. In terms of logic behind, Shapiro's mechanical computer is very similar to biomolecular machines of the living cells such as the ribosome. Therefore, future biomolecular version of the device may lead to the construction of general purpose program part of that. It can itself can run and can do all those kind of manipulation or computation part. The basic thing is that why DNA? Because DNA is a single strand. DNA can be repaired, replicate. DNA can be cut and joined together. That's why DNA molecule becomes a very important thing. This is what you find here. And this Turing machine, what is the word given there? Computer should sense the environment and all this. Right? So, in the field of computing, right, these are the development. Supercomputer, whatever question will come, will be based on current aspect. Any first ranking supercomputer of the world or India. And the name of supercomputer, how much petaflop or the processing power, and what are the application part. So applications can be R&D, encryptology, defense, space, meteorology, climate change research. You can number of areas supercomputers are used. That part you have to be aware of that. Right? So today's class, these 3 areas which I have come across. Right? So that you are aware from every aspect of it. Right? Any doubt? Any question? No question? I know 3 hours. Right? So people have to go through all those kind of things there. Right? At the next class, I'll tell you that tomorrow's class, I will first come to ICT, Information Technology. After Information Technology, we'll go to the area of renewable forms of energy. Solar power, wind power, tidal energy, geothermal energy, all those areas will learn there. Right, so next will be after ICT. Right, new renewable energy will go through. Right, renewable energy form of that.